Welcome to Built to Last, the podcast where entrepreneurs share real stories about the triumphs and challenges of building enduring success. Hosted by Colby Jardine and Levi Lawrence.
All right. Thank you for coming to the Built to Last podcast. We're going to do another episode with Mike LeBlanc. Michelle, well, I'm sure that'll come up. Michelle LeBlanc as well, as known as, also found as online. So just a quick reminder, this podcast is really about having those conversations you can't have other places, especially those questions for leaders that have no easy answers. What it means to build a person, your personal self, as well as a company and your professional self, as something that will last, something that's stronger and more resilient. We haven't really met. We had a quick pre-call. And so one of the things I love is that we're going to have a real, actual conversation where we get to scratch our itch and follow our own curiosity about those things that matter to us all. But this came, we made the connection with Mike because Colby has had some interactions. We are going to get Mike to introduce himself as we usually do, but maybe I'll start off by getting Colby to the TF, how we guys kept connected.
Sure. Thanks. And happy to have you here, Mike. Yeah, we go way back, I guess now. We met through a mutual friend, Zach Dallaire. We'll tag him in the post. and yeah, we met through the golf course and then just kind of, I think, realized we were kindred spirits, and any chance we got to be together, hanging out, cooking food and all those things are on the golf course. We've taken every opportunity we can. We even ran the Chicago Marathon together, which is kind of crazy. But I've always been fascinated with, just how you operate. Really, like I know you do a lot of different things. I know that with the golf course and stuff, and some of the choices y'all made to go private and those things. I'm so curious about all that, but. All that being said, how would you introduce yourself today? And that you can interpret that however you want, from a family perspective, business perspective, whatever.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thanks, guys, for having me on. I appreciate the invite, and we'll have fun today. And Colby, you forgot that we played music also together.
Oh, right. Yes. No, we do all the things.
We do it all.
Yeah.
How I would introduce myself would be a proud New Brunswicker, loving father, proud husband, golf and hockey nut, and then I would say would love to make my province and especially my city here in Dieppe, New Brunswick. Love to make it better than it was when I was younger. Not that it wasn't good, but the whole intent behind it is how to make our city better. And so I would say that the biggest part of my bio would be to try to make as many good decisions as possible to make our city and then in turn our province a better place for our kids to grow up and for their kids to live. And I guess that would be my bio, I guess, on that front. Then personal side, on the work side, well, have been in real estate my whole life. Now a real estate agent, built houses for 15 years, started Fox Creek Golf Club with my family, built that on to now still own and operate it today. And still do some development and all that stuff that we'll talk about. But I guess that's my bio. I could go on for a little bit. But.
I will. And it's kind of funny because I'm always curious of, like, we didn't give you a lot of direction, and the way that people introduce themselves is usually telling to where their priorities are. I noticed you put Dieppe over your wife, though, like my city and my province, and then my wife and my family. I'm guessing that's probably not meant, but I just thought like Dieppe's really important to you.
Yeah. It's more important than my family.
Yeah, I figured that one. Yeah.
I'll shoot her a text and let her know.
Yeah.
It is interesting because I've actually had the conversation. We were talking about joining the chamber again. We stopped I'm in Fredericton, not that dissimilar a size of city. And I stopped kind of engaging locally because all our work was not local. Our work is outside. So like I don't really connect in my own city. Like I've struggled to connect with how I'm improving my local environment because I'm doing, but I think it's refreshing to like the power that you have as an employer and a business owner and a community member to your local environment. I've only recently like been thinking that way myself, and it's nice to hear it out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there's globalization. Like it's easier to think, oh, I'm a global citizen, but like you have a lot of potential to impact the closest things around you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I would agree with that 110%. It's just proud to, I don't mind going into other provinces and all that stuff, but I just think that for a long time, the Brunswickers have, I would say, we're maybe shy or not proud enough of where we are, and we don't pound our chests enough to how beautiful and how great it is to live here. Sometimes they're like, oh yeah, if you go to Toronto, they're like, oh, where are you from? Well, just over there in New Brunswick. We don't say it loud and proud. So what we're trying to do is to make it in a way better, and so that if you go somewhere, you're proud and you say it loud and proud from the rooftops that where you're from.
And I've also noticed.
Remember,
oh, sorry, Levi. I was just going to say I noticed. I lived in Moncton 13 years ago for a couple of years. I was in school, and just the changes from then to now. And I lived there recently as well for a year and a half. And the changes in Dieppe. I'm
just kidding.
I was in Dieppe. See, I was told I wasn't in Dieppe on that Shediac Road. They were like, "Hey, you're on the line, but it's tight." The amount of changes that have been made in Dieppe have just like astronomical. It feels like a completely different place. Over the past 10, 13 years or so since I lived in Moncton before, and I know that you've had a pretty sizable hand in that direction as well.
Yeah, no, it has just changed. Anybody that hasn't been here in 10, 15, 20 years come back and say, whoa, what happened here? Even where the golf course is today, we used to ride our bikes in trails in the woods out in that way, right? Like in 2000, there was still nothing there. Like Dieppe Boulevard did not exist. There was nothing around that way at all. We'll get into
I can't remember
details later, but even the first piece of land we bought, somebody said, you guys are crazy to buy that piece of land. You're so far out of the city. What are you guys doing? What are you thinking? And so
I can't remember who said this, but it was featuring New Brunswick specifically, is like, we need more rock stars, as they presented it, like whether it's food production or business owners or musicians or whatever, we need more rock stars. And they're like, but we have like really great musicians. We have really great chefs. We have really great business owners. And they position it as like, you could be the best in the world, but rock stars aren't about just being good at what they do. They're about showing the world and talking from a stage and being known for being the best. There's a certain amount of like, accepting a certain amount of renown that we just don't do well. I would say that's all of Atlantic Canada. We don't really put ourselves out there and call ourselves the best. And that's shown in all over the place.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree.
I'm curious how you got started. You mentioned family with the golf course, but like when, I picture somebody who doesn't fit the mold of a job, and you've seem pretty entrepreneurial and have, followed different paths and have had lots of different opportunities. But when did you first think of yourself as an entrepreneur, as like when did that start? Or is that a later in life, or did you start it that way at 10?
I was going to say 6. My family, when I grew up, my father started his company in 1995 when I was 6 years old. And I would say since that time, when he started his own business and started to work very hard and do all his work and started his own business, we would sit down around the kitchen table. in the kitchen, and my mom would be working with my dad, and I used to say for my dad, but she she worked with my dad a lot, and they worked together their entire lives, and beyond 1985, and we would have conversations with my brothers and my family all the time about business, and even sometimes my mom and dad would be talking about what went on during the day, and just having that, not
Yeah.
knowing at the time. I can't say that I was 6 years old sitting there and saying, oh well, someday I'm gonna be a business owner. That's not what I mean, that part,
Mm.
but it's we got it from them, where, and all of us, my two brothers and I, are all business owners in golf and other things. We all have our own little, not little, but we all have our own day jobs as well.
Yeah.
Could call it, but it's all business. Like it's everybody has their own business. Nobody works for no one else, on that front. So I would say that started very, very early there, of just being born into it. I will say that that has an effect.
Yeah.
I hear sometimes right now, some people, I haven't seen them in a while, and I'm like, "Oh, your son just graduated college. Like, what is he doing?" It's like, "Oh, well, he's a dentist," and I'm talking to a dentist. So, like, a lot of times, without really
Yeah.
noticing, a lot of the kids will follow paths,
Yeah.
into what their parents were doing, because they're just used to that. And for me, personally, the being a business person, I've never thought about working for someone else. I just never crossed my mind.
And understanding that it's an option is a big part of it. Like I've done some mentorship stuff and then with youth, and even me, like I went to university and I was like, oh, I think I'm going to open my own business. I went back to my like grandparents. I was just chatting over it, and they're like, oh yeah, like sure. You look at it. We all are business. Like my grandmother was the first exit real estate agent in the region. My other family has 8 generations of dairy farmers. I've never once thought of any of those as entrepreneurs. I was like, oh yeah, none of you actually have an employer. And so it didn't feel a stretch. It was like, oh, that's one of the options I have available to me as I was thinking about what I wanted to do.
Mhm.
But I talk to people now, especially people, my age and mid 40s who have younger children, and they're, if they don't grow up with that in their family, or they haven't done that, they don't even see it as an option. Like they have this business owners are rich people. They're inaccessible. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Most of them, first of all, aren't.
Yeah. Oh,
But just
definitely.
understanding it's possible is
Yeah,
a
or
really important part.
it takes a lot of money to start a business, or it takes this, or it takes
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, just take you
yeah,
deciding.
My grandfather really tried to push the government job for a lot of years. He was like, you should go do your, you know, the payroll center was just being built, I think, in Miramichi, and he was like, why don't you just go get, good pension and stuff? And I thought about that a certain way for so long, but then it's clicked. I was like, wait a second, he is like such a purebred entrepreneur. I was wondering why I was like always pushing in that direction. I think there was some subconscious stuff happening without me noticing, but like he started a nursing home in his house back in like the 50s, and then he built the first like kind of luxury um, uh, uh, nursing home in PEI called Whisperwood Villas.
Okay.
And so he went from like in the house and my grandmother nursing the patients and then expanding. He was telling me all these stories about like horse and buggy with like chains on the wheels and stuff, like just crazy stuff. And yeah, I mean, like I just want to keep building stuff. I think it's like a bit of that like squirrel brain. I just always want to try stuff and meet new
Yeah.
people and collaborate.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's definitely the fun part.
Mm.
Um, eh, just curious because I think I looked at your LinkedIn, but I never noticed it. Did you go to school as well?
Yeah, so funny enough, I so this is my story from the early, like, so out of high school, I knew what I wanted to do, and I wanted to start working. So, um, but my dad said, and my mom, they said, I think you should just go, get an education. And for me, going to university and having to take biology and having to take all these other classes and courses that I was never going to use in my life, in my mind, I was going like, why would I go there? Why would I do that? That was my thought process at the time. So I went for a 2-year business technology at NBCC in Moncton. So I did that, and I majored in accounting. So I did that. So I graduated. I started there. I was 17. I graduated. I was 19 from the college. From there, I was still working with my parents on and off, and because that's what we did when we're a bit younger. I didn't work too much because I played a lot of golf when I was younger, so I worked a lot less than my brothers definitely did. But still would, still remember going and driving some excavators, and my father was in the heavy machinery business, so doing streets, sewer and water work and street construction. So we had a blast doing that kind of stuff when we were younger. So once I finished college, I said, I think I should go work for someone before to go to on my own. So
Smart idea for a 19-year-old.
yeah. So, and I said, who I'm going to go work for? I'm going to go work for Irving. So, because if I can see what they're doing, how they're doing, and what's going on. So I found a job through the college. They had some SMT bus lines at the time. There was a job opening. So when I took it, and I worked there for 18 months. So I did like an on-the-job training there. They kind of like what I did. After 8 weeks, I believe it was, went into the HR office, and he says, okay, so we're looking at maybe wanting to hire you. What's your goal in the next 5 years? I said, it's easy. I said, I'm either going to be sitting in your chair or I'm going to have my own business. He looked at
That's
me.
what you said.
Yeah, at 19. I can't even believe now that I said that, but that's basically what I said. He's like, I've never heard that before. And you know what? That's a good answer. So he's like, that shows that,
Yeah.
so during my 18 months I was there, I actually changed jobs 9 times. I was moving up in the company, and they were trying to get me to stay. So they're just promoting me and getting me to do other things. At the end, I was an internal auditor for the company. So I was going through the entire provinces, driving around, going to bus stations. And at the time, there was no technology. So I had my Motorola flip phone, and it was envelopes. So you had like envelopes that they had numbers they had printed. They wanted to make sure, because those envelopes were put on buses as a delivery service. So they wanted to make sure nobody was taking that envelope, putting something in, and just putting it on the bus without paying. So there was a tracking system that, anyways, I did that throughout the provinces. Loved it, driving a Ford Taurus wagon and going around the provinces and balling it. And so that's what I did for 18 months. Loved it. And then my father, so I don't know how deep you want me to keep going here, but if
Oh, sure, yeah, I love the origin story.
okay. So my my father said, look, they had a home building business, and they had an opportunity to expand it, and they said, look, we'd like for you to come in and join the company if you would. And I said, yeah, that would be great. I think I'd love to do that. So in 1995, my parents did a sewer and water job for a local developer with their business. That was 10 years in their business. They were doing quite well at the time. And so they said, oh, told the guy, you just pay me when it's done. So once they finished the job, gave the invoice to the guy. He's like, sorry, I thought I was going to sell some lots, and I can't pay you. So then my dad's like, okay, so what do we do now? We said, well, he said, look, you don't have to pay me, but I'm taking the lots, and I'll pay you a certain amount every lot that we sell for your share. And so one thing led to another. The lots were still not selling at the time. It wasn't that crazy busy. So 96 came around, 97. There was a guy my father knew that built houses for a while, but was retired. So he said, "Hey, would you come and build a house for me on a lot and try to flip it, and then we could sell the lot." The whole idea was to try and just sell a lot that he had to get from a guy. He never had the intention of being a developer at all. Like there was no zero thought process onto that. So built one house, sold it. So then said, well, geez, maybe built two houses the next year. So built two houses. Now we're in 98, 99. They built 5 houses. And that's where it started to get kind of busy. I graduated. So now in 2000, that was late 2000, they said, okay, I think it's, so I went. Then next thing you know, we're building 30, 35, 40 homes a year and just going crazy. We ended up buying another piece of land next to it to keep going. And then in 2001, the whole story of the golf course started, that I'll get in later. But yeah, so that's how that whole endeavor started. That was so college. I did college, which I'm super proud of, which today at 46 years old, I would say that I would have liked to have a degree. And it's just to have it because I would really like to have like an MBA or something else from somewhere else right now. It's just a weird thing. I don't need it, but it's more like
I get it.
I don't know.
It was one of the things that like the reason I started out on education is my head for the last like year has been considering whether I want to do any other schooling. And I know people I like with an MBA. I also know people I have zero respect for that like put MBA next to their name on their LinkedIn profile. And so, but there is a certain amount of like, is that going to be like I've learned a lot of things. I'm in a lot of peer groups. I learned from people I know and experiences and like what is the value of an MBA for somebody who's done a lot of things? And so I love to get other people's perspective on professional or academic education along with real life and learning and people.
Yeah.
Haven't made the decision yet.
I'm the same. I'm in the same boat where like I've often thought about going back to school.
Just the sound is not, I can't hear you.
Oh shoot.
Test.
Sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Sorry.
Can you hear
I
us
hear
now?
you, but I don't hear you.
Oh, does it sound weird?
Does it sound weird for you guys?
No. Sounds great.
We'll be able to cut this, but I don't know. Like I hear myself in my headphones and you guys now, I can't.
That's weird.
I don't know
what
what
changed.
happened. Hang on just a sec.
Nothing's changed on my side.
No. Try it again.
Test.
No. That's weird. I didn't touch anything. While I was talking, everything was fine on me. And once you started to talk.
We've had a couple of ghosts creep into these in the beginning. So sometimes there's these little buggy things. I guess you use the same platform.
Yeah. No, but I hear myself clearly and you guys hear me. And I hear you. But through my speakers of my talk now.
Hello.
Do you want to select the?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just do it this way. I don't care. I'll just.
Is that fine?
Oh, it's fine for me. I don't care.
Okay.
It's kind of weird.
It sounds great.
Yeah, it sounds good.
It's kind of weird. Yeah, no, but I have my mic here and everything, right? So we're all set.
I never show it, but
yeah, it's all set for that, but I don't have for whatever reason. Anyways, okay.
That's okay.
We can cut that out.
All good.
Yeah.
I think what was I just saying? I was talking about
restart.
Yeah, and all of a sudden Mike doesn't have headphones on.
You know what? I can still hear you. So yours right there.
It's fine.
It's fine. Let's keep that like that. Yeah, I can still hear you. I put my microphone on my computer quite loud, so that's.
Yeah. We'll really know if people are watching if they know if like our clothes are changing.
They notice that
during the podcast.
So we were just talking about like MBAs and schooling and going through and getting that degree.
I've
Yeah.
been really curious about, like, because everything I hear about MBAs is like it matters where you take it because it's the network that you're building.
Mhm.
So then that effort alone, it's like, okay, well, where would I have to go where this would feel like I'm super proud of myself? Like where could I go do this? And where could I find the time and the cash dollar bills to go do so? You know.
Yeah.
But like I joined that entrepreneurs organization, so I do get a lot of exposure to you know, they do like almost like mini MBAs. You can go to like Harvard and MIT and all that kind of stuff and learn from all those folks. But there's
Mhm.
still something about the little MBA that I've just, I don't know if it's just the ego. Selfishly, I just kind of want something. My fiance is a doctor of veterinary medicine, and like, she's the doctor now. It's like,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. I'm a drummer.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And you're not.
Yeah, exactly. I have no
Yeah.
proof.
Yeah. Well, I will
Yeah.
say, like, I have an undergraduate degree in business, and I don't think that prepared me for very much. So,
Yeah, and
anyway,
I don't think the education part of it that you're really going to add more to is just
yeah,
one of those things. But I'm not ashamed of not going to university, as I think some people
yeah,
should be more like that now. There's a lot of jobs and trades, and a lot of the wealthiest guys I know, and girls and people I know have no degrees, like, so
yeah,
you don't need to go to university to have your
yeah, yeah,
life. Is I think you should have an education. I think you should have even a post-secondary education. But if you're going into a trade and that's what you like to do, you like to put your boots on and go working and go, like, really
Mm.
go what I call work, like, then you can do it without going to university for sure.
I think one of the interesting things about, you get out of high school and maybe you're not super clear. It's like, you, I think being exposed to a lot of different things is like kind of a priority in my head. Like I needed to go try things, learn things, but then also be able to learn from that experience and go. But like, it seemed like I was just kind of floating through life, like after high school for a few years of just like not being intentional, just kind of doing what I wanted to do, trying things. But there was massive gaps in my head of what the world was like.
Yeah.
And now that I've like gotten involved with a couple of different businesses, I think going back for an MBA that feels applied to what you're doing, I think would be a really interesting.
Yeah.
Because you're creating the space
Mhm.
to work on those things, which I think is a challenge now. It's like, well, we all have the
Yeah.
same time in the day, and we're
Yeah.
supposed to be doing things. Like this is like dedicated time with other people that you're
Yeah.
getting exposed to. I think that's a bit more interesting.
Yeah, no, definitely. Totally agree with that.
So I'm going to preface this by saying I'm a non-golfer. I grew up next to a golf course, but in my head, I'm going to tell you the story I tell in my head, and then I'd love to hear about how you got into golf, and you can pick apart my story. It's completely inaccurate. In my head, golf is like opening a whiskey distillery or a Scotch distillery. It's about legacy and it's about presence and it's long term, can build a fantastic brand, but there is no short term, like, let's do this to make lots of money business plan in golf. It's about community and legacy. It's not. Is that the case? And how did you get into golf? Was it like a bigger plan, a long term, or is this like nobody goes into a whiskey distillery to make money in this generation?
Yeah.
Is that the same for golf? And how did you get into it?
I laugh because definitely that's the case.
Yeah, it's a passion. It's not necessarily like, let's make ourselves rich.
No, to the contrary, it's not a lot of initial golf course owners are still golf course owners. Not a lot of it, unless they are, billionaires and they're just having fun and just wanted to do one just to, and
Whiskey
they don't care,
distillers.
right? Like yeah, but not a lot of
Yeah.
the golf course, especially in New Brunswick and PI and all that stuff. They weren't uh, they weren't these billionaires building it, just people with passion that wanted to build something. And you look
Mm.
on PI, a lot of the golf courses became run by the province because
Yeah.
it's just very, very difficult. And the province saw an opportunity to not having them there was not going to be a good thing. So they wanted to keep it and were able to absorb the losses. So yeah, the golf course industry is a very, very, very difficult business.
Mm.
First thing, it's seasonal. So because it's only 6 months of the year, if you're lucky, that's the maximum. Sometimes 5 months. It's very difficult and around here, the price of golf, the cost of what somebody would pay to golf does not coincide with what the world pays for golf. So again, you can only charge what you can charge so that people are happy with paying that amount.
Yeah.
So it makes a very difficult business move. How we got into golf is the story goes in 2001, as my father was building a street in the Dieppe area. And at the time, my oldest brother, Marcel, who had been working with my father since he was 14 years old, and to this day is still doing heavy machinery stuff. That's what he does, and that's what he loves to do. Um, they were on the lookout for a place to dump some extra fill that they were going to have on this street that we're doing. So they went for a drive on Burke Road because we're from that area. So we knew Burke Road, the road now that leads to the golf course, was a dirt road. So and on that road, there was an area where my father knew that there was a pit there because my father in the 70s worked in the heavy machinery business, knew that there was a pit out in that area that had sandstone in it because he worked on the extension of the Champlain Mall, and the Champlain Mall is on a marshland. So they knew they had some sandstone, and that sandstone from that pit on Burke Road was used to put underneath the foundation to stabilize the Champlain Mall. So my father knew that there was area in that area to put some fill, definitely. So he went down, saw it, then told my brother Marcel, "Hey, come and see it. If you think this will work, we'll call the guy, see if we can't use his land to put that fill in because it was clean fill, it was good fill, so he knew the guy wouldn't really mind." So once my brother went there with my father and they were driving around the truck, and my brother went out, looked around, Dad says, "This is not a place to dump fill." My dad looks at my brother, "What do you mean?" Like, says, "This is a golf course." My dad's like, "What are you talking about?" So my brother says, "No, Dad, this is a place for a golf course." Says, "You're crazy. Like, what are you talking about?" So for us, my father was an avid golfer, loved golf, still golfs today, every day, has his golf cart in the apartment, takes it out, drives 2 seconds to the golf course, and then plays every day. So we were an avid golfing family. I started golfing when I was 6. My brothers started golfing when they were 8, 9, and we just loved golf. So my mom played. We would go to Florida during the winter time, Christmas time. We'd be gone for 2, 3 weeks. We'd play 10, 12, 13, 15 rounds of golf when we're out there. Right. So guys want to go to Disney, or you guys want to go golfing? We want to go golfing. So that was just the way our family ran. And we always liked the sport that much and we always played in different places. We were members at golf courses locally, but there was never one in Dieppe. So we thought, hey, that would be a great idea to do one right in our city, right? Like, why not? So, and so that's how the golf course started. And then they called me up and said, "Mike, come over here. You have to come and see this." So I drive up. go to the site, which is, 2 minutes from my house. Went to the site, and they said, "Hey, this is what we're thinking." And it's like, yeah, frig, sounds good to me. Like, that's pretty cool, pretty good idea.
Got to be pretty straightforward, right? Building a
Yeah,
golf
and my
course.
brother Denny at the yeah,
Put the
seems
ball in the
simple.
gopher hole.
Yeah. And my brother Denny was studying audiology in Ottawa at the time, and we called him. Says, "Hey, what are you up to?" Not too much. How about you? "Oh, we're standing on our golf course." Like, what are you talking about? Right?
Manifesting.
You guys are crazy. So yeah. So fast forward, we ended up reaching out to a few golf course architects. Anyways, found one. He said he can come in a few months or whatever it was the case. So in the meantime, we ended up making a deal with the person who owned the land that my father knew through the years. They no longer had any use for that land because that sandstone was now all depleted. They had no intention of doing anything with the land. So we said, look, we'll buy it from you guys. And I still remember the day my dad and I went to Riverview, gave him the check. Because at the time my father wrote the check, right? So we were just young, and at the time I was 22 years old, right? My brothers were 24 and 25. So we bought the land, and when my dad had me with him, so I went, and the guy took the check, and I still remember it. Took it, looked at it, and says, "Have fun with that land, boys. Have fun." Like, we're like, okay. Like, then we get in the truck and like, what the hell did we do? Like, what did we just, is there something that, are there mines there? Or
this guy just put a curse on your whole family.
Yeah. Are there bear traps around the woods that we're going to get caught into, and a leg on the tree or something?
Yeah.
So anyway, so we ended up talking to that architect. He came down, looked at it, said, "Yeah, this is lovely land, great spot." It says it can fit a golf course. We said, "Okay." So we said, "What's the budget of a golf course?" Anyways, like, how much think it's going to cost? He says,
Can't wait to hear the number.
He says, "I'll get back to you next week. I just have to look at things because now I know what the lay of the land is and how much fill you need to move and what." It's okay. So we're like, "Oh, I think he's going to say this number," and I really think like that's should be good enough, like, right? Anyways, he comes back. It's like he gives us the number. We go like, "Oh yeah, oh thank you, yeah." I'm like, not a chance. Like, we're not doing this at all. Like, so, and he even to this day would say like, "I still remember when I saw you that time. I thought I was never going to see you guys again." So we decided to forego the excursion at the time and forego that business plan. 6 months later, my brother comes in and says, "I got a plan." This is the oldest guy too. Again, he's like, "I got a plan." Like, okay, what's your plan? Like, did you just win the lottery or something? Like, what's your plan? Like,
the oldest guy, but still in his late 20s. Like, just to put the context.
Yeah, mid 20s. What are we doing here? He says, "Have an idea." I said, "If we buy a piece of land next door and we develop lots on this side of the golf course, we can take that profit," because we knew that very well. We knew we had the machinery, the heavy machinery business, and we knew exactly how much land would, so he took a plan, he drew it out, knew how many lots he could do, figured how much we could sell them for. We knew exactly how much it would cost. He said, "If we can buy the land for this much, we'll make that much profit. And that'll be the difference between what we thought is going to pay for the golf course and what it is." So, well, if you think we can get that land at that price, let's see. So my dad went to see the guy or the people and they say, "Yeah, we'll gladly sell that land." Because at the time, nobody knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like today where somebody wanted to sell like 100 acres beside the golf course. It's, there's nothing there, no streets, no nothing. So they're saying, "Yeah, no problem." So then we called back Graham Cook and said, "Hey, I guess we're in business. It's almost a year later.
Yeah.
You should do a plan for us. And so he did the initial plan.
Nice.
And then after that, we ended up buying another 7 different pieces of land. Amassed about 1,000 acres, and developed the first street as we're doing the golf course. Once we developed the first street, we had sold 52 lots in about 18 months,
Mm.
with people just coming to my dad's basement, giving us deposits because they knew us and trusted us. And they just gave us deposits. We had signed a receipt on a piece of paper in those blue binder things that you buy at Staples. It's a receipt for a lot that you're going to buy. And we take the check and we cash it in our account, not a trust check and not the way that you would do it now. Yeah. And, but a lot of those people are certainly happy now that they bought those lots when they did.
Yeah. No doubt.
That's fascinating. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
I did not know that. And like, I've played that course, I don't know, maybe 10 times now ish, something around there. And it's just unbelievable. Like, it's my favorite course to play in Atlantic, Canada. And it's amazing that you guys, like, I want to talk more about golf, but this is leading into, you've mentioned your family quite a bit since we started chatting. What's the dynamic like with working with your family? You've been doing it since you can remember, in some sense, but like, what is that like for you?
Well, it's part of my life. It's been like that since we were young. So it's I will say when we were younger, it was I would say it was easier when we were younger, than let's say it would be as you get older and when you have family and you have kids and you have wives and you have this and you have that, just other things going on. Like you're playing hockey, you're doing this, you're doing that. There's just so much going on at once. In 2005, when the golf course opened, we all had our first child in 2005. So
you're planners.
No, just that was all by happen. So at the same time we were opening the golf course, which was stressful as you can imagine. The cost overruns, to how you're doing it, what's going on, it is very stressful throughout that whole time. Then adding your kids at that time, and so, but we had a blast. Like from 2003 when we started building the golf course, every weekend we would get to the golf course and all the machinery was there sitting in the parking lot. So, and everybody raced in the morning to grab a machine on the weekend, because that was when we were just going out there to have fun. So, where all my cousins, our friends, my uncles, my mom and my aunts were driving, like for one weekend, they drove a rock truck, all 3 of them, in each one in a rock truck, driving it for the weekend. So I have pictures that and videos that I saved from those times early in 2003 and 4, where we would all get there, and I would get there, and then I get there at 6:05, and there's no machines left. So I'm like, man, what's going on? Well, cousin Mark took that one, and Denny took that one. Marcel took that one. My dad and Marcel had the 2 excavators because they were leading the pack, right? They were the ones saying, like, you guys go here. We're going to do that today. This is what we're doing. And everybody would just go and follow everyone. And I couldn't even get a machine. So then, so I'm like, okay, I'll take the video camera, and like the real video camera, and I would videotape, kind of not knowing now what I do the podcast and I love doing public speaking, all that stuff. And I hear myself in this video that I showed at Christmas time this year of me narrating what's going on and how we're doing it. I'm looking at it now going like, geez, okay, that was kind of, I was still in that realm when I was younger. But, then once the day finished around 4:00, my mom would show up with her truck. She would come and see us right in the boom, boom, like she was used to being in the construction area. So we'd drive right to, and everybody would congregate Like, let's say, I still remember on hole 6, we would congregate there right in the middle of it. So it's not like there was nothing around. So, and all the machinery would come in, we'd shut them down. My mom would come in with a cooler full of beer and some pizza, and then we'd just sit on the tailgates and on our trucks, our boots, and just like having a beer and just talking about our day and what we did and how we did it. We did that weekend after weekend after weekend. We didn't have any kids. We didn't have much else that we wanted to do. So those are memories that are very fond to me. And it doesn't matter where we go as a family dynamic or business in the future. I mean, that kind of stuff will live with me forever. And so proud to have done that with my family, my brothers and my parents. And yeah, all 5 of us. Yeah, super proud to be a business owner and still today, we're still all business partners today, and still proud to still own that golf course.
I love to hear the
almost
positive
lost it a
side of
few
those
times.
things. Yeah.
Pardon?
You hear horror stories sometimes of the
Oh,
next
we almost
generation
lost it a
and
few times, and I'm not ashamed
yeah,
to say it. Like
yeah,
there was a lot of years that were very, very difficult. And
yeah.
one year we lost 8 greens and had to strip them all, and we had to order a tractor trailer in May after you went all through the winter without having nobody paying, nothing happening, and you have to pay the tractor trailer before it comes here full of sod from Quebec.
Yeah.
Well, it's like was $175,000.
Yeah.
Well, at the time, it's like, well, all right, like, or whatever the case may be. It's there was a lot of, and it's a very, very difficult business to be in. Yeah, it definitely is.
Well, Mike, I just thank you for sharing that. So it's safe to say that the dynamic between you, your brothers, your mom and your dad are solid. Is that fair to say?
So. Yep.
That's amazing. Because like we do work, we do work and have a fascination with family-owned businesses, like owner-operator businesses, and sometimes those things can feel like family because they've had an administrator or an accountant or whoever they have in that business. They've been with them forever, and it can create that family dynamic too. And I know it seems like. Do you feel like you've put there was intentionality around putting work around how you guys work together and communicated, or is that just something that naturally happened because you're all just angels? Because I believe that too.
Yeah, right. And no, I think it just naturally happened. I think we all had. I think for us, the cool thing is that we never once did any of us take any money from the golf course. So, meaning the golf course part of it was never the money generator for anybody. So, and nobody was saying, well, I did this and I worked so much and I didn't, and you got paid that. And why are you going on that trip? And why are you doing this? Well, I went on that trip because I, built 10 houses more. And I just, I did what I did. Nobody really cared. My brother had his audiology business, and he was doing the hearing aids and all that stuff. And if he wanted to buy a new car, do his new thing, whatever, it didn't really matter. So I think that part unintentionally was very good on our part to not have that as it was starting, to not, because a lot of times it's the money part that becomes the issue, right? It's we can say what we
on
want,
that note, are you looking forward to the next couple generations? Because what's the,
we are. So we've talked about that a lot, and I think, I think we're looking at it in a way where I'm not sure we'll want our kids to be all 7 of them together. That's different. They grow up into, I think the 3rd generation is quite difficult. You grow up into it. They don't have the struggles we had. They don't have I just look at some pictures and I start crying, like of what we went through, like the blood, sweat, and tears. Like when you really think about it, that's exactly what it was. we bled when we were trying to get the mud off of our tractors, and the sweat by just walking around everywhere, and the tears after the first round a golf that we played, going like, look what we just achieved. Look what we just did by ourselves with our own bare hands. It's like, holy man.
I need to hear that. Were you guys the first ones to play the course?
Absolutely. So absolutely. I still have that video today. We set that up so that the day before the golf course was opening, we were going to play around with all of our uncles and everybody that worked and helped us on the golf course. We're going to play that golf course. I still have goosebumps just talking about that right now.
I have goosebumps right now. I wasn't there.
Yeah. So just have everybody, and my dad shot the first shot, which deservingly so. And we ended up playing that round of golf super slow. Not super drunk. and just had a blast. And anyways, it was just a great day. We took our time. Riding around and really relishing some of those moments that we had the 2 years prior, just driving tractors around there.
Well, I caught the golf bug quite late. It was like 2018, and I really kind of started to be like, oh, can I get better at this? But it was in South Africa, and I had no friends in South Africa. I'll tell this quick story because it's kind of funny. There was this app that you could just book like 4 balls with random folks at different courses. And so I would show up, I'd be the 4th, and never really swung a golf club seriously before. But these courses are lined with $1 million homes. And like a lot of them had glass, balcony, railings. And me hauling up my driver, and like I bought the nice golf clothes, so they just all assumed I was pretty good. Nice practice swings.
Looked the part.
Yeah, pretty good practice swings, but they would just go like hard right into a metal roof, and it would be the loudest sound you've ever heard in your life. And I lost all my balls at hole 14, and I was like, boys, I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna leave. But then started taking lessons and loved it, and but I'll never forget the sound of the hitting those roofs. It's just like a gunshot. So bad. So bad.
Funny.
Yeah.
Funny. So do you have anything else you need to go for on the golf side? Colby, I'm tangenting here in a sec.
Well, yes, I do actually, because there was a strategic choice that you guys made to go private. I'd love to. I get invited as a guest, and I go with you and play in the member guest, which is my favorite time of year. Looking forward to it. And
awesome.
I know, I've heard. I can't even deal with it. I'm too excited. But talk me through the opportunity that you guys saw to go private.
And I don't actually understand what were the options?
So I'll explain just quickly. So when we started, which the majority of the golf courses, I would say like 98, 99% of golf courses are public golf courses. They're you can just call, book a tee time, and you can go play. They sell memberships, but it's just I would call it more like annual dues, where you pay once a year, and then you can play as many times as you want, as long as nobody else is there at that tee time. So most golf courses would be like that. So there's a tee sheet, you call in advance, you can book a time, and you go play. Either you pay or per time, or you've paid as you go. And a lot of the businesses are based on having some corporate, having tournaments, having green fees, and then having members. And that's how we did it from 2005 all the way to 2021, when we did the private. So being private means that it's member only. So that's I guess there's other ways to being a private golf course. A lot of the private golf course are member owned. So the members have ownership into the golf course. We are still privately held 100% by the family. and we only have members that play the golf course or the guest of a member. So the biggest difference there, so Colby, to answer your question, we had been talking about this. This is my brother Denny's idea. He always had that in mind. Marcel and I and my dad really never really thought about it, to be quite honest. He had brought it maybe 10 years ago, that he had brought it up. And at the time, we're just struggling. Like it was difficult. Like it's a difficult business. So, and we ran the restaurant there when it started. We had the restaurant. We had no idea what a restaurant was, how it was being, we had no idea what we were doing, but we just did it for 7 years. That wasn't really, restaurants is a very difficult business as well. So when you put all that together, and when you have green fees, I remember still driving to the golf course on a Friday and looking how many cars were in the parking lot. Because if a day passes and you don't get those 50 or 60 or 70 green fees you were hoping for, well, it's not like cans of beans that you put on the shelf. If they don't sell today, well,
No.
maybe tomorrow we'll sell 20 of them. Like we haven't sold, well, the next day you don't sell any, but the next day you might sell 40 and it evens out. Well, us in the golf industry, if that day is gone, that tee sheet can only fit a certain amount of tee times, and it's gone. It's never coming back. You can't,
Perishable inventory for sure.
you just cannot do it again. So I know I'm rambling on, but so the reason why we ended up going the members route at that time, now we're talking about it. We didn't do it before because we said, if we want a certain amount of members to pay a certain amount of money to make it work, be viable, what if we don't get that for a year, 2 years, 3 years? Well, it might be very difficult for us to go through it and to keep it at that time. So we made some changes, we made some choices to make it more lean, and we ended up getting St. James Gate at the golf course as a restaurateur. So then now we have 35 employees less because we no longer have the restaurant. We just have a rent that's coming in from the restaurant. We did a few other things, got to a point where, okay, now we can make the decision to go private. And even if we don't get it for the first 2-3 years, we'll be fine. We'll be fine because we trusted the process. However, there's not a lot of member-only golf course in Atlantic Canada. There's the Ashburn in Halifax, and then there's Riverside and St. John. Is Belvedere still private? I don't know. Like, it was private for a while, but
No.
it might not be private anymore. So there wasn't a lot of. So we decided to jump in. We did it through having conversations with our members prior to. So we went to our membership, that the ones we trusted, the one that we said, look, what if we did it this way? They'd say, yeah, that would be exactly what we would like. Let's go ahead. And the first year, we actually lost a lot of members. It did what we thought we would do. So year 2, we're saying, okay, year 2, it'll come back. And then all of a sudden, it hadn't really come back. So we're like, oh man, what? But we trusted the process. Okay, well, golf is a long-term thing. Like, it's a long decision. So you make a decision at one time, it'll take you 1.5 years for that decision to flourish, because people have already now decided where they're playing. So you can do whatever you want in this summer. Right now, in this summer, we can do whatever we want. That customer is gone. He's not coming. He's not coming this year. So he might come next year, but a lot of times he's just in that second year, in middle of the summer, he comes and plays and says, oh, next year I'm coming here. Well, then that whole thing takes a long time for it to come back.
Yeah,
So we stuck to it. We said, we're going to do this. We did the members lounge. We did this. We did that. We created the space. And then when people were coming now saying, oh my God, you guys did this, you changed that. Oh my God, we remember at Fox Street now we have all kinds of tee times because, there's less people there. The tee sheet's not as full. So then the next year, the third year, then we increased in people. Then the fourth year even increased more to now. Last year was our best year ever. And right now we have quite a big waiting list. We have just this morning, I had 3 texts from people. Look, I talked to Eric. Can you do anything you can to get us to play on the golf course? We really want to be a member there. And we're full. And it's took us 23 years to be an overnight success, but
it's interesting.
We did it, man. We did it.
Yeah.
And golf did get a bit of a resurgence post COVID, I think, didn't it? Like,
oh my God. Oh my God. COVID was our savior in a way where everybody decided to golf because they could golf, because you could go outside and do like the social distancing and all that kind of stuff. So but then now people are just loving golf in a different way, where there's, I still remember the first time I put music on our golf cart, and my dad goes, "Shut that off. Like, you don't play golf with music. What are you guys doing?" But now every golf course you go and every golf cart has music, and it's just part of what it is. And that's what brings people out to play golf. It's that extra little having fun and getting outside, doing your thing. And
a lot of that stiffness has been leaving the industry quite a bit. Like even from what people are wearing, listening to music on the course, like it's all changed.
It's not just golf either. Like you used to not be able to wear sneakers in restaurants. Like the whole everything is becoming a little bit more casual everywhere.
Business attires a lot more casual. There's a lot,
Like how often do you see a jacket and tie day to day? Like it's used to be standard, and now you don't see it as often.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, definitely.
Well, thanks for sharing that, Mike. I want to turn that into its own, the history of Fox Creek clip. That's going to be great. Go ahead, Levi.
Don't take my summer project there. No, I'm actually that's one thing I will say. It's actually now where I'm learning a lot more now to be, again, like we were saying earlier in the podcast, where now I'm looking to be prouder of what we've done and prouder of what we've accomplished, and want to showcase it. So I actually have a lot of footage. I have a lot of videos. I have a lot of pictures. And over this summer, I want to kind of be on the course, but also show the history and where it came from and who did it. And I want to do it now. Both my parents are still healthy and still alive. And I just kind of feel like I want to do that this summer to bring it to, and now saying it out loud, I have no choice but to do it.
That's right.
Or we'll send you this clip. It's just, by the way.
No, but it's been the works.
So we've covered some of the property development, we've covered the golf, but you're also a real estate agent. And just for me to understand, because I have a bunch of my family are real estate agents or have been, is that something you feel as like a full thing you do, or is it just an extension of property development? Like you got your license to do, or do you do all the normal real estate agent showings and listings? Okay.
Absolutely. I do. I would say I'm a normal real estate agent.
Okay. Because there's a lot, I don't know how it is in your region, but I know like there's a lot of people who are like, I'm careful saying this, but I call them in my head real estate agent light. They've got their license and they participate, but it's just a little bit of like a side hustle. There's a lot of side hustlers versus like people who really treat it as because it's a lot of your brand and a relationship and like it's a lot. Or it has been in my family. Like it's, you're kind of always on and thinking that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, for me, I will say that's probably the toughest part of me being a realtor is that a lot of people don't see me as a realtor, right? Like they see me as the Fox Creek guy, people around here call me Mike Fox Creek, right? Like it's so that's been for me a little weird that it's actually not my, I can't say full-time job, but it takes a majority of my time. But people don't view me as a realtor because of that. So no, I do all my own stuff. Like I I do commercial, I do residential, I do land sales, leasing, um, uh, you know,
Mhm.
everything. Like, so houses to right now, I have a cottage for sale. I have a mini home for sale. I have,
Hmm.
I have a $3.5 million commercial building on Dieppe Boulevard for sale to leasing some
Nice.
commercial space to, you know, yeah. But for me, it was an easy transition because when I was in we built, I calculated the other day, I think we built around 500 homes during the time that I was there that we built. And every house that I built, I did not use a realtor. I sold them myself. So so being I had sold 500 houses before being a realtor.
Hmm.
I had sold probably 150 to 200 lots that other people had built those houses on the lots as well. So I had sold lots without being a
Hmm.
realtor, just being a land developer and
Hmm.
had sold that. So for me, being a realtor became the right move. And in 2013, when we decided to stop building houses, well, it was my parents' company, but they decided that it was time to
Hmm.
with me as well, time to change paths and not do that anymore. For me was I just loved it so much.
Hmm.
I didn't like the construction part of it the last 5 years, but I loved the beginning with people and the end with people and getting them in
Yeah.
their new house. And so then I'm like, well, being a realtor would be doing exactly that without
Hmm.
everything in the middle that I didn't like anymore.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Dealing with like systemic trade shortages
yeah,
and
yeah.
material shortages and
Or like in 2008 and 9 where plywood was all of a sudden
yeah, yeah,
went up $20 a sheet while you're
yeah,
building 30 homes, or you go to the client says, "Hey," and they're like, "Oh, I haven't seen the news this week. I don't know what you're talking about." It's like, "Oh,
yeah,
no," like jokingly, but they don't want to pay for it. It's like, well, what do you, like you have no
yeah,
choice. It's like so all those things and dealing with trade saying they're going to be there, they don't be there, and client showing up says, I thought you said the plumber's going to be here
oh
today,
yeah,
and I went there today and he wasn't there." And so
yeah,
that part of it, anyway, so now I just do the real estate part of it that I love. But when I go in a home, you know, some of the how it's kind of fun now where some of these houses that I sell are houses that I built too. So it's pretty cool
yeah,
to go back into those homes
yeah,
and know exactly what's into everything and how it was built
yeah,
and
yeah. The so when people know about my background, like I was restaurants and chef and went back and did a business degree, and so I'm like a line cook with a business degree, and but now I help people adopt technology and systems and geeky things to help. But like if like I never take the time to go the full bio, but like there was a last year of high school, first year university for a variety of reasons. I lived with my grandparents, and my grandmother was the first real estate agent hired for the Fredericton Exit Realty when it came to town,
okay.
and I was living with them, and so I'm interested in the real estate world because I'm like I am the one who set up all their agents with their first Palm Pilots and figure it out and show them how to like
I don't know
manage
that.
their contacts and can update it from their computer.
Cool.
I'm the one who
Yeah.
used front page to build their first websites, like the individual agents landing pages and their business cards. And I'm the one who like I would be the one who would like get this new digital cameras, and I was going into the houses and staging shots because I knew how to get it online faster, and like all this stuff was like automating and systemizing and processing and like technology pieces. So I was like 16, 17, 18, 19. And so like it's hard to tie that into the bigger bio, but like where business and geekery live,
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's fascinating. I will say the common line, if I was to try a line through everything we've heard from you today, is how important building and maintaining good relationships are. Like the same things I respect in my grandmother is like it didn't like she had 6 different businesses throughout her life, and the big one at the end was a realtor. But all of it was made possible because every time she made a relationship, she kept it positive, and like there was like you can do all kinds of stuff
Yeah.
Like sales, especially if you're going to be into one geographic area like Dieppe, like your whole family is channeling this, like, let's build those relationships, let's keep them positive, let's, be above board.
Yep.
Like your father, if I was to guess, your father could have gone a very different direction even at that, like, conversation with somebody owing him money. Like there could have been a much harder path
100%.
that wasn't like about relationships and community.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it wasn't all rosy, but it's still like there's decisions at every step about keeping my position in the community and our relationships going forward.
Absolutely. Absolutely agree. And even to this, like, until that the person passed away a few years ago, my dad would still speak highly
Yeah.
of them. Anyways, not everybody goes
Yeah.
through a tough time here and there, and you have to
Yeah.
have a kind heart. And sometimes, and I've gone through, I've gone through hard times, and sometimes it's not easy to foster all relationships, and sometimes they just they just don't,
Yeah.
things happen. But if you can, for the most part, 75 to 80% of your,
Yeah.
if you can be above that, into all your relationships, it's good. But yes, that's and that was instilled from my mom and both my dad as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We still go into the golf course now, or in a restaurant or wherever we're going with, you will want to go in there with your head held high too, and not going backwards.
Yeah.
I have a question.
So many things. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Colby.
Mike, as long as I've known you, you seem to obviously have a pretty great outlook on life. And how do you think about that? Like, do you have you kind of just naturally kind of always had this personality of just keeping things positive and keeping things moving and grooving, or is that something you've actively worked on over the years?
I would say I'm naturally like that. I don't remember not being like that. Um, I would say, yeah, I love, I just look at life in a way where just like, and some people laugh at me when I say that, but I said, like, when it's a beautiful day on the golf course, I say, like, how many times a year does this happen? Like, that it's so beautiful today. Like, I don't know, like, oh, what, 10 times? 20 times? Yeah, 20 times. Okay, 20 times. Okay, so live another 20 years. That's 400 times. We're going to do this just another 400 times. If we're lucky,
Yeah.
if we're
At the
lucky.
most.
So it's like, when you put that in perspective, I want to enjoy those 400 times. Like, I just want to, I just want to enjoy
Yeah.
them. And so, yeah, I will say that it's not always positive all the time. I can't say that it is, but I don't work at it. I don't like think about. It's just a way that I was wired, I guess, to be like that, and to. But again, my parents are the same way, so I would say that they kind of see the glass half full most of the times. And I just like having fun too. I don't take myself too seriously. I just like having fun. I like being around people. And now the older I get, I just like being around people that have that will bring the same energy. I don't have time to have my energy kind of be lowered. It's one of those things. Almost like an older engine now, where it takes more time to get primed. So I don't like, for it to slow down. I like the energy. And
Yeah.
Colby would
It's one of the reasons why
talk
I
about that
think
a
that
few
we have this
times. Energy.
podcast. Yeah. Like we want to have like conversations more often with people with this kind of energy is why we are here today. Like this is our selfish little, I mean, I'm sure it helps us be on the internet and, build some trust with the greater public. But at the end of the day is how often today do you get to meet other people with this kind of shared energy to have meaningful conversation instead of how's everything? Yeah, it's busy. It's like, it's,
Yeah.
a chamber networking
Oh,
conversation.
busy right now. Oh man, I don't
And even the
know.
people who I have solid trust, it's like, I don't really have time to get into a more nuanced conversation. And so like this creates that space for us, and an opportunity.
I agree.
Uh, you
That's what
you also have a podcast. How did that get started and what's the goal with that?
I do, and yeah, it's real estate roundtable with Mike LeBlanc. So
Ooh.
I started that, wanted to do that for a few years, and I started doing it in November of last year, and kind of doing a little bit, little by little. And the whole point of that is to I always thought that if I could, at this point, with everything that I've learned and everything that I've done, now if I could give back, even like just
Mm,
one thing that I can say or do and that helps somebody new in the business, somebody's that just starting in real estate, somebody maybe thinking of changing careers and wanted to be a realtor. What does that
mm,
take? And oh, if they just hear me say one thing, that'll snap them from, you know, decided to go one way or another. Same as what we did through the years where we decided to my brother decided to say what he thought and said, I think this is a golf course. And look where we are today. It was just, he could have just
mm.
sat there and thought it and didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And it would not exist today. So
Mhm,
it's just a thought that came in his head and he blurted out and
mhm,
look what, look what all transpired throughout all that time to do that. So for me was to be able to have a platform to share uh, people in the industry, whether it be lawyers, uh, other realtors,
mhm,
developers, what have you. But also now it's also other business people. So I've been
mhm,
fortunate through my life that now with the golf course and everything else, I know a lot of people. I'm grateful to have a lot of good friends and good people around. So
mm,
with people that have stories to be told and I want to take business people and have them
mhm,
share their story, kind of what we did today. Um,
mhm.
that's also, but mostly a lot of it real estate driven, but not all the time. So that's the podcast.
So, we if it's not, I actually don't know how much we've told you, but what we do, but because this isn't really about our business as much as the people who lead businesses. Um, but a lot of what we do is we try to like look at where things are going and how business is changing and how do we help those independent businesses adapt and modernize and keep up. Because I'm not a very religious person, but I keep saying I want to help the Davids against Goliath.
Mhm.
I want to live in a place with stronger, more resilient, lasting longer, independent local businesses. And so we live in that space. And we're not actively working with real estate agents, but we're looking at all the ways all businesses are changing. And I wouldn't mind just having a little bit of a discussion. Like, from my understanding, real estate is one of those ones that's going to go through a lot of disruption, with the way that technology and people and expectations is changing. And I have some specific things that I think are coming, but I'd love to, like, before I get into that, like, where is that true? Do you find it is changing? And like, what are the big things that are challenging or becoming opportunities for real estate?
Yeah, I would kind of almost would like to hear what you're thinking first and then reply because
Yeah, great.
um, I yeah, so I'm thinking what you're
So
thinking, but I have there's a lot that's changing, but anyways, yeah, how
I'll
about
give you
I
I'll
throw
give
with you
you
the
the
ball?
outside perspective, and then
Yeah,
you tell me where I'm wrong or right.
yeah,
I'm happy. Like, I have no ego in this, so I will not feel
no,
bad at all if you tell me to go
yeah,
pound sand. So, some of this, because I have family members who have recently gone through either the selling or the buying process, and I go to a lot of conferences and I speak at conferences on sales and marketing tech and relationship management tech, and so I'm just enough to be dangerous. I don't have any expertise in your industry. Um, but one of the ones is that more and more people are making that financial decision on a home purchase before they talk to a realtor. So they're coming in and they are expecting more online to get further in the purchase process before they work with a realtor. One is that and I don't know if it's everywhere, but I know in our market, it's the speed of which things. Like, it used to be like I'd have time and I'd look, but now it's like I'm going to list my house. I'm going to get multiple offers and I'm going to sell my house. And so like the game has changed. And like, it's harder. Like I now have in the last month had 4 realtors, not the last month, the last 6 months, I've had 4 realtors come to my door and ask to list our house. And so like the tact, like it used to be like, I would go and like have to work to find my realtor, but now it's like you're searching me out all the time. And I also have a lot of people I know who are starting to doubt the true value for the commission price of a realtor because they know it's going to sell and they know it's going to sell because it used to be like, yeah, sometimes it sells quick, but sometimes that real estate agent is out signage and marketing for months, sometimes years. And but now like in our market, you will sell your house. It's just a matter of months or weeks. And so they're challenging the pricing model. And so like the pricing model, the use of tech, the relevancy of it versus like I can go online or I can use tools or automatic, like similar to all professional services, they're starting to get away from hourly rates because they're able to use tools like AI to make it faster. So we're now getting into like package rates, projects versus hourly rates or percentage commissions because the math no longer makes sense. Anything like that you're seeing?
So yeah, I have maybe a lot to say on all of that in a way. So yeah, there's some changes. Clients are coming in and having more knowledge onto the market. They have more knowledge on houses. They have a bit more knowledge on what they're buying and selling and that kind of stuff. But I will say that real estate agents, maybe sometimes if the deal comes in and you're able to sell it quickly, people will look at it, but it's because you chose the right realtor and he was able to sell it at the price that you got. And he told the first person that came in, says, "Oh, I'm going to sell it. How about I buy it for this price?" And we're already on the other end going, "No, we're not doing that. We're working for you on your behalf, even sometimes without you knowing what we're doing in behind and saving you that 10, 15,000, 20,000. So then all of a sudden that commission base that you thought was extravagant is no longer that much because we're working with you or for you to save it. Now, does every realtor do that? Maybe not, but I would say the grand majority of it does that. The reason why you're getting a lot of people knocking at your door now to sell your house is, in my opinion, there's too many realtors. In my opinion, there's just the market is saturated for realtors. We went from a certain amount to now with COVID happening and houses selling, like you're saying, like selling by themselves. And at that point, yeah, I would tell people sometimes like, hey, if you can sell the house to your neighbor or dog or cat or whoever, like go, hey, do your thing, go ahead. But don't come to me when saying, "Oh, what do I do now? They're saying that the water's not good. And what do I do now? And what do I do this?" And now it's like, hey, like, sorry, like if so not all houses have it easy. I went through a house recently where the inspection had a lot of stuff into it that if the client was his own realtor, that deal would not have happened. Yeah. And there's no chance. Like there's no way he could have navigated that inspection with the seller without being offended at what the seller was going to require because they don't have the emotion of living there for the last 25 years. So the seller saying, "Hey, like that's not right." And him saying to me, "Oh, I worked all my life and I did this with my brother and we put that there like this and this is that." Like, okay, I hear you, but this is not how we're going to present that to the seller. Like, this is what it is. Take the emotion out of it. Here's what you're going to do. Here's why we're going to do it. It's going to cost you $500, but we're just going to do that. Okay. It's like, okay, well, the seller or the buyer is not listening to that. He doesn't know that. But if the buyer and the seller are just trying to do their own thing, that deal is gone now. That deal doesn't, because he's now saying, why are you so upset here? And why are you saying that you did that with your brother? I don't care. Like, I'm just buying your house. Like, now you're treating me like I don't know what I'm doing and what I'm saying. So now what else are you hiding? So I'm not buying your house. Well, really, that wasn't the case. It's just there's somebody emotional that is selling their house,
Yeah.
and there's somebody else not wanting to get screwed buying something. So the realtor in the middle of it, people just look at it, got listed, it got sold. Man, they're making that much money.
So what I like about this is it's validating in all other professional services, is because you can have code or AI right now. Like, maybe it's a few months away, maybe it's here now, but like, I can have it scrape the information of all the houses in my market, what their last sales price is, and the different, like, I can have like what I should say. Like, there's a lot of stuff I could do to be more informed and to automate that. And there's probably
100%.
apps coming out now that like, who knows? But similar to accounting, similar to legal, similar to some of the consulting we're doing, there's nothing yet replacing that, like working with humans, working with each other, like that. So anybody in those professions, who aren't good at talking to people, aren't going to make it long term. I don't think. Like, if it's a straightforward transaction, it's going to be hard to build a business on those. Like, it's going to be easier and easier.
Yeah.
But it's different personalities and different emotions and different, like that's where the value is going to be. And so people skills, the soft skills of what you do, are by and far more important than the like understanding the contracts and the paperwork side.
Exactly. And that's where I
Yeah.
say, like, for me, I think the real estate industries is fine and it's going to be there for a long time, is because there's no AI that can take away the emotion of somebody's home. There's nobody's AI or any cloud-based anything that can tell somebody, that can tell the story about what you did to the home. Somebody can just go in and say, oh, this, no, but we did this. Oh, I didn't realize that. Didn't see that. Like, you can take a picture of the surface and you can take a picture of the fireplace and say, what brand is it? What is it? And it'll give you all that. You can, and it'll give you a place where you can buy the remote if it's not there anymore. And there's a place, they'll give you the service guy that can service it and all that stuff. But it doesn't give you the families that were around that fireplace for that time and how much emotion those sellers have in selling their home. And if you're telling them that they need to reduce the price by 10,000 because they don't find that fireplace to be too nice, because they're going to replace it, you got to put something else in there. Now you're upset. You're going like, you're going to take my house, but you're going to take my fireplace away that we had all these moments with my family. Like, well, no AI can take us to soften that side for the seller and soften that side to the purchaser. And if that doesn't,
there's a lot of AI that can do it poorly. So I just think you're going to find like the gap between good people in real estate and less good, like this, because you can get AI to do that. It's just going to do a very poor job of it.
Yeah, well, you can. And I think, look, I'm not talking about 20, 30 years from now. Where are we going to be that? Like, we all have no idea where everything's going to be in 30 years from now. You know, if you look at where we've been in the last 5 years, like it's so, but I'm also saying that I think for realtors, I think there's maybe too many of them, because the top end realtors are really doing well, you know, like the stereotypical well, right? They're selling a lot, making a lot of money, doing a lot of good things, but that's not the norm. And people are looking at it from the outside and going, I'm going to be a realtor now. And now what's happened, we have also people in the industry that are doing it, to your point, part-time. So they have that government job and they'll go show houses in the weekends. And while it's between hockey games with their kids, and well, they're not providing really the service that maybe some others are providing. So I would say on that front, that's it.
So the other side of this, which you can go as far as shallow as you'd like, is from my understanding, good real estate agents have always also been good marketers, because at the end of the day, it's like marketing the property is, and you know, even now that things are faster and you're more assured of sale, it's still, and marketing has been going through huge changes.
Yep.
How you reach people, how you communicate, how you cut through the noise, the technology involved, the attention span. How do you, and if you think about people entering real estate, how do you keep up to speed or educate yourself or change with the times? Because it's changing fast. Like we do this every day, and marketing technology and what people are expecting and where eyeballs and ears are is changing so rapidly that like we're struggling to keep up. How do you think real estate agents are doing that today? Or how do you do it?
Well, for me, what I like to do is, again, share a story. So I always like doing great videos of my property with myself and showing what some of the features are, but also humanizing the space and try to make it as much as a human connection as possible through the marketing place. Because if people are going to like, marketing for a house is a lot different than marketing for a soda. If you're going to buy a $3 soda, it's not the same thing as buying your most expensive purchase of your life, which is your home. And not only the most expensive purchase, but also a place where your family is going to be there and you're going to bring your extended family over and you're going to have your dogs, right?
Yeah.
Around, running around, doing all that kind of stuff. Well, you're going to want to make sure that there's emotion involved, but you want to feel like you're going to be part of the house. I feel now some of the marketing for some agents now, I saw one today online. I click on the pictures and there's still like stuff on the bed and there's stuff on the countertops. And it's like they think that it's going to sell so quickly now. They take their phone, they take a few shots, put it on. It's like, oh, welcome to 46 Farm. And just the same old, and then put these pictures on. It's like, okay, well, those houses stay on the market for a while now. They're not selling as fast. So one of the things I find is you need to spend a bit more time and energy into making reels, making sure that you're out on social media, making sure that you're boosting those into the areas that you think that whatever house market you're in. So if I'm selling a cottage for $200,000 that's not winterized, or I'm selling a $1.3 million house or a $3.5 million commercial building, those are all different things. And I'm going through the same through a different person. Some would be through LinkedIn that I'm doing, some not. Like I wouldn't be pushing a certain, a mini home that I'm selling on LinkedIn, but I will put that $3.5 million commercial building on LinkedIn, because then some business people might want to buy it as a commercial property. So I'm also making sure that we're up to speed with all the latest technology for pictures, for video, for anything that we can do is all like getting the right and having the best people editing those videos or editing those pictures to make sure that those are done properly. But but you also like use AI to say, okay, this is where the place is. This is the house. This is how it is. Like how should I write the thing that we didn't have before? Because you would just go yourself and you're going through the house and you're writing it down. Well, now you can actually put all the pictures in and actually allow AI to give you a proper description of a house that maybe you didn't have before. How many people actually read that whole description is something that sometimes it's in our industry.
Well, not everybody, but I bet the people in the final 2 or 3 are reading pretty close.
They do.
It's a different audience, right? The scan audience and then the deep audience are two separate. Like I tell people who ask me for their advice on their resumes, it's like you need to be able to be the first look, which is 5 seconds, and the second look, which is 30 minutes. And you have to have the right document that fills both purposes. And it's it's a different stage.
That one before. Yeah, that's good.
The other thing we talk about a lot is like, are you building something that gives you income and revenue, or are you building something that has legacy outside of yourself? Is it like, and this is the choice I find a lot of real estate agents, whether they know it or not, are going to have to make. And I was wondering your thought, like, are you building something with team, with structure, with workflow? Like if I get sick or go on vacation for 2 weeks, does everything stall? Do I want to have something I can pass on or not? Because for some real estate agents who go in because they think there's an opportunity, and I've talked to them, they can't take a day off. they can't because they haven't really understood of how to build some of the workflows, the systems, the processes, or people. Like, are your thoughts on that? Or do you have administration, or do you have teams or partners? Like, how do you think about real estate as a business?
So for
separate
me,
from yourself?
yeah, no, for me, I have no problem taking a day off, and I'm fortunate in where I am today, where I have the listings I have the things that I do. I actually a month ago I sold a house while I was in Quebec. So as long as you're attainable and you can do the things that you do, for me, I think having the experience that I have, knowing what I know and how I can do it online. I use technology a lot now on my phone and on my iPad, that I'm able to get signatures out to people. Like, I can do contracts from a hotel room and I can send it to them. They can scan it and sign it right on their phone and have it back to me, and I can send it to the other agent in 10 minutes. Right. So it's all things like that if I do have admin, I also, if I'm not around, I will, and somebody needs a showing or something, there's always other agents in the office at Exit that are gladly starting out, or that they'll say, we have like a group chat, and it's like, hey, is anybody available to go over here? Somebody would like to visit, we'll compensate you for your time and efforts. And so, yeah, we're fortunate at Exit in Moncton, where it's in Dieppe, but it's Exit Moncton, where we work a lot together. Like, the people within the office actually work a lot hand in hand. People would think that people are work, and they do, but I would say that, and I would say that's a something. When people are starting out, they think they can't leave, but they can. And it's just, how do you and when your client calls and says, hey, what about this, that you don't freak out. I knew I shouldn't have left. Like, I should be there and I should have done that. No, it's like, hey, how about you tell them, can I see you tomorrow? Can I see you the next day? Or, by the way, before you leave, say, hey, I'm going to Cancun for a week. If you need me, send me a note, just so you know I'm not going to be around, but I have someone that will cover for me if you need something. Well, guess what? Those people, they probably won't call you. Like, they know you're gone. Unless it's an emergency, they'll call you, but more than likely they'll wait till you come back. Unless it's an urgency or something. Like, so if you're upfront and honest with your clients and with people that you are, and say, look, I haven't had a vacation in so long, I'm going to leave this week. Just wanted to let you know that I'm going to be away. And a lot of the people, I find, for me, a lot of the people don't bother me when I'm out.
So again, I'm hearing, like, create boundaries, have good communication skills, good relationship skills. I'm also hearing that, like, you did figure out the tech. You were adaptable. You are.
Oh, 100%. Oh,
yeah.
For tech. Yeah.
So there's a piece here I just wanted to highlight of, like constantly evolving or improving yourself and the way you do work is built in. And that's not standard. Like, I know lots of people in their, even 50s, 60s, 70s doing real estate that are choosing not to do that. And it's a very different thing.
Absolutely. Like, I see people sometimes too, like, if I'm a property manager too, so I sign a bunch of leases, and I'll take the leases and I'll send it to someone. They're like, well, okay, I'll meet you tomorrow and we can sign it. I'm like, no, I sent you the attachment to just go on and click and just sign it.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I don't do that. I'll see you tomorrow. It's like, okay, whatever. We'll see you tomorrow. But they just don't, they don't even say, oh, can you just guide me through it and take 4 minutes and we'll sign it? It's like, no, I don't do that. So I find that mind-boggling.
I'll stop pulling all the time here. Just like, the reason why I'm so interested in real estate and where technology and how it's being changed is real estate, from my understanding, is, I think about it as a business. Like, it's typically one or small team, but it's pretty much not a sellable business, typically, from my understanding. Like, there's so much tied up into the personal relationship with the person who is the real estate agent. But also there's a need and expectation to be adopting systems and automations and technology to make and normally we work with organizations that like the reason they're investing in that technology is to create a business that is more sellable, or at least something that can transition to a different owner. But in real estate, you're expected to make those improvements, but it's not really something you sell. And so it's just that one little bit of an outlier that is like, I need to build value for everyday gains, but there still isn't like a big payday. Where a lot of people we work with, like they're investing in their company because they're going to get the proceeds on the sale or the transition. And that's not necessarily the case in real estate. So it's an interesting space.
Not at all. Yeah. And that's, I would agree with that 110%, because real estate, you're an agent, you're yourself. Like if you're no longer there, it's tough to sell. You could sell maybe some of your clients, but that would be a commercial person, like would maybe have a ton of clients that he works with. They have the shopping malls. They work with Cadillac Fairview that has a bunch of malls. And so they have all the leads for all the leases and everything else. So they could probably sell that portfolio, like that client a little bit and be able to sell it. But other than that, you can't. You're just doing it. I find for me, I adapt and I'm doing things with AI now, or with where we're going, to ease my way, to help me do more with less time. So if I can provide, even use AI to say, okay, hey, by the way, make sure you let me know within, I'm going to reach out to these people again in, 2 days. And all of a sudden you get a message saying, oh, hey, by the way, reach out. Oh yeah, totally forgot to reach out to them. And then you send an email and you reach out. Little things like that to help you when to reach out, using cloud-based stuff that puts all the emails addressed to all your clients, that you can send one email, bang, and it's gone to everyone. That type of stuff is all things that you should be doing as a realtor. But most of all, for me, when I do that, is to help me be able to do more with less time, but also being able to do more work and more sales that turn into more money in the end too. So if I can spend less of my time doing the little bitty stuff where I can use technology for that, I'm able to do more sales and do the more like, hey, that kind of stuff. That's where the money comes in from. It's not doing the contract and actually sending it for a signature.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
It's fun though. Like as long as you like learning new things, I'm sure that there's a fun side to it as well.
I love it. Like I love that kind of stuff, and I'm open to all that. But I'm also I don't like complicating things too much. I don't like wanting to do AI because it's in the news and that's what I should be like. If it's something that's going to help and create more space for me and more time for me to be able to do like my podcasts and be able to do my content days, because now I don't have to spend the morning doing paperwork or knocking on people's doors. No pun intended, but to do that, now I can create other things that in turn people will see me more. And like I got a call yesterday, a woman says, like to buy a house. I'm like, okay. I said, where'd you get my name? Said, oh, I saw your video online. I thought you look like a very nice person. And I just would like to use you to buy our family home. I'm like, wow, okay, that's kind of cool. That was the first time that happened, because I haven't been really out there, social media too much, but those are kind of the cool things that come out of it. But when you don't take the time to do that kind of stuff, I would have lost that.
Same as your golf analogy earlier. It's a long-term play, like the content and trust building and getting out there.
Yeah, the awareness piece, hey? Because I mean, how validating is that you put that effort into those things, and then to have somebody just come out and say it. That's really nice.
Say it with it, yeah. I was surprised that. Yeah, I'm not saying that to pat myself on the back. I just found it very interesting and intriguing.
100%.
Yeah.
So we're more than an hour and a half in, and I feel like I've just taken the wheel, and I like, is there any directions that you want to ask about, or is there any popular questions you cover in your podcast you want to have with us while we're on here?
Yeah, like I'll just turn it over to you guys.
Turn the tables.
Yeah, so I still got 50 minutes here before I go to my daughter's hockey practice that I coach. So
Nice.
yeah, so what where did you guys get acquainted? So I guess with you guys, how did you guys meet, and what, in the end, what's really the nature of your business? What do you do day to day? You touched a bit on it. It kind of feels and looks like a bit on my business where it's a bit of everything, but where'd you guys meet, and what's the nature of your business?
Oh,
Do you
big
want to
question.
go or do you want me to go?
Well, I'm just thinking it's more when I met Levi a little bit later because Aaron, our third business partner, Levi and Aaron were both in the Wallace McCain Institute. And then we became clients of each other. And
Oh, cool. That's
yeah,
awesome.
and Levi owned a business called Pragmatic Business Solutions, doing a lot of like tech adoption, helping small, medium-sized businesses, similar to what we're doing now. There's just a lot more I don't know, a lot more team behind it, I suppose now, and we've restructured a lot of things over the last couple of years, but I think it made a lot of sense where we wanted to merge. Essentially, we saw an opportunity in the market where we started off in that kind of marketing space, and Levi was over in this space, and then we kind of joined forces, and then all of us kind of became deeply geeky about all aspects of what makes a business tick. And because when you just touch the marketing, you're starting to realize, wait, there's some other issues going on here, or other opportunities going on here that are we would like to get our hands on too. So we just started getting pretty intentional about that.
Yeah. So our two companies started dating, kind of discussing it in 21, and we fully merged at the beginning of 22. And so we do a lot of things, like the way I like to explain, because we say organizations now because it's, First Nations communities, government, for profit, but the end goal for me is all about making stronger organizations, which for me means less reliant on a couple key people.
Mm-hmm.
For some businesses, just technology. Some businesses, just better culture. For some is getting their brands downloaded because everything's in their head. And so we have a large suite of things we do, but it's the same problems everywhere though. So it sounds complicated and it's hard to sell because it's timely and we hope to make businesses more efficient, but that's not really the value that I think we're selling. Like, I think actually you pointed this out. I want to make things easier on me. Is like, for me, I want to make the business owner's life better. And that usually is like the overwhelmed business owner, has owned it for years, it's mature, but doesn't feel like can take a break, doesn't feel like they can focus on other things, doesn't feel like they can focus on their family, overwhelmed, has started to fall out of love with their business. And there's books we make our team read, like Built to Sell and E-Myth, and it's like, how do we help them actually make those changes while they're sailing the ship? Fundamental life change, like that's what fires me up. That's the goosebump moment, whether you're a single person business or you're a 200 employee business.
And I think where it also became really interesting is that problem where the business completely depends on them can come in a lot of forms. So like if there's a culture of fear in the business and nobody can feel like they can make their own decisions because they're going to get harshly judged by that decision that they've made, or there's no processes, people can't fill in the gaps where they could. So there's a few different like scenarios that are just common threads of like, it's like, oh, we think our culture is this, but there's a different culture here. There's a subculture happening at the same time, or
sometimes business owners are blind to it too. They think it's something, but you're like, no, did you look over here? Oh, I don't see anything.
Even the ones who are aware, like I had this conversation earlier with somebody and I think similar to your point, like I think it's this human piece that makes us super relevant, because the technology, like building a new website or mapping out your processes, is actually not that hard.
Yeah.
But when I'm talking to like we work with a lot of stable, mature businesses, say like I'm thinking of somebody right now, 65 years in operations. And we're going in and we did a bit of an assessment, and like the first project is showing them how to use the Microsoft system they've been paying for a decade, because their team has never really started using those tools they pay for. And so it's the same feeling that people will have when they share their screen and it's got like a messy desktop, and it's like, oh, it's like, think of somebody in your world as like, if you have the ability to communicate and sell and read the room in sophisticated conversations and selling high ticket items, like why should you feel bad that you can't figure out a calendar tool or a email tool or a scheduling tool and so I really like that nuance of like, how do we have a safe conversation with somebody who's really good at something, who's built something about something that their grandkids could do easily.
Yeah.
Like that empathy piece, like that's the humans between technology and people.
Yeah.
That's really where we try to live. Again, it's really hard to sell
Yeah.
and
No,
communicate,
I
but once we
understand
get
that.
it's really great.
So
And
how many businesses would you guys be able to work on or with during a certain period of time? So you're working with businesses. Are they all small businesses, big businesses, medium size,
No.
all shapes, size, and forms? And how many can you work on at one given time?
We're trying to keep a mix of work. We need to have some things that start and finish in a pretty tight cycle, as well as some longer, broad arc things, because either one of those, if we did just those, become hard on cash flow. But we like to have the mix. We're averaging about 35 a year right now of that mix, and that would be probably 5 or 6 larger, longer, and then the rest would be a mix of like, I think our shortest is 6 weeks turnaround on something. And then most it really varies, but that's kind of where we sit.
How many clients in a year usually?
No, like that's what I mean, like 35 to 40
total clients. Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
around
but
there.
those rangements, like with those engagements would range from like a few $1,000s to a 6-figure project. Like they really range depending on the needs of that organization.
Yeah, and about 50% of them are like not recurring in the sense of a retainer model, but like they're coming back to us. Yeah, it's like once, like usually someone will maybe have a conversation with somebody else and they'll say, hey, you should go talk to these guys about this issue, and we'll come and chat with them, and maybe the issue that they're looking to solve isn't the issue that needs to be solved right away, and we just kind of pride ourselves on being able to have that open, honest conversation, and a lot of times it's not in our benefit at all. So
we should have just done the thing they asked for. We just knew it wasn't going to work.
Yeah, because
yeah, go ahead, keep going.
I was just going to say, because like, we might go into a business and there's, say, an administrative person that's been there for years, and we know that they're not going to adapt to the thing that they're asking for. It's like, well, you got a people problem first. Like, let's create a more level playing field on that, and then let's go find the piece of technology that's going to suit your current environment a little better than what you were originally asking for.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll take a CRM as an example that comes up often. Is like, a lot of people, like, adopting your first customer relationship management tool is a big daunting thing for an organization, especially if you've already been running for years and years. But nobody actually wants a CRM. Like, they're not buying a CRM. They want to make sales easier.
Yeah.
And a tool for like to hold people accountable and to organize and track it all. Well, there's lots of ways to do that. So like, let's not just give you the CRM you asked for. Like, so what's exactly going to help your specific team, who are at the maturity or technology awareness that they're at, accomplish this task?
So when you do that with a bunch of businesses, and you get in there, and do you find yourself, and oftentimes that happens, like, where I don't know, I have the French analogy in my head, so I won't say anything, but do you find yourself looking inside your company and saying, why aren't we doing this that we're just telling everybody how to do it, and within your own company? Not to get out skeletons in your closet, but do you find that kind of weird? I find that kind of is always intriguing, where we're doing this way, that way. I'm telling people how to do things in their home, and then I come home.
Cobbler's kids have shitty shoes is a common saying for sure.
That was the one I was thinking in French. But
so there's some things we don't have, and we're like, oh, we should probably do that. I would find, like, more often now is like we do our own offsites on our company, and there's things we've done because we know about it that we didn't need as a company. So like the word overbuilt, like our processes and our use of technology and the way we can automate things is more than we need for the size of business we are.
Yeah.
And so our overhead's higher. Like, so for me, it's like, let's not implement everything. let's make so right now it's around like, when is the bit, like we have 85 different tools the company has access to. And like, we don't need 18 different marketing technology platforms. But like, we did a project with a client, we adopted it, we liked it, but it's fun. But like, it's like, how do we make sure we stay lean and don't over engineer?
Well, that's it.
So,
And then sometimes you can't do it all. Like you have to say
Yeah.
no, like at something.
Yeah.
It's fun. I like the fact that we're doing it. Like, I'm under the hood of, at any given time, I'm under the hood of at least a dozen companies in different industries and different sizes. And so I'm always learning new things, and also validated it's almost everybody has the same problems.
Right. That's true. And I would agree with that. Last question. Do you guys do business solely in Atlantic Canada, or do you do a bit across the board? And
Sure.
where can people find you?
Yeah. It's mostly Atlantic Canada. We've branched out a bit and have focused on in the last like 8 months of creating more of an export plan and investing pretty heavily in going out to Ottawa. We were going to go into the States, but we'll just hit the pause button on that for obvious reasons.
Then work in Ontario, we've done work in BC, and like the goal is to become a company that is not dependent on Atlantic Canada.
Good.
Without overspending on the work we have in Atlantic Canada. So that's the challenge we have right now.
And we've got plans to kind of expand some things to the UK. We're actually starting a new service offering. I'm sure we can say it out loud, I suppose.
Yeah.
So we're starting what we're calling a smart bookkeeping firm, and we're kind of taglining the term business keeping. So a lot of the clients that we've worked with, one of the barriers is we couldn't do as detailed or as great of a job as we wanted to, because the financials were not in a good place. They didn't have accurate information, up-to-date information, couldn't tell if they were profitable. They're 2 years behind. They're doing $5 million in revenue, but it's chaotic. So we're like, this happened again and again. So we're like, we're going to go start this thing. And we're pretty excited about it because it's
cool. Good. Congrats. That's awesome.
Thanks. Yeah. So
creating a solution by adding something to your clients that they'll find helpful.
It's the most common problem we found is good day-to-day financial cleanliness.
Yeah.
So we're doing that. And to answer your other question, the website's ironhousepro.com. And you can certainly find us there. We're always happy to chat about complicated things with anybody that wants to sit through that. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, this is fun. I feel like now I'm between you and your daughter's hockey. So let's call this a 1.0.
Yeah.
I will meet you guys at the restaurant after you guys do a round of golf.
No, we got to get him in there.
Ride around with the cart if you want.
Well, we got to get him shucking oysters, or we got to set up a little barbecue rig, a trailer or something like that.
We can do all that. That would be easy to do. All you need is a tailgate and some oysters and I appreciate you guys taking the time to have me on. It was a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll get it to do it again.
Yeah, sounds great.
It was lovely. Thanks, Mike.
This episode of Built to Last is brought to you by Iron House Pro, your behind-the-scenes partner in building organizations designed to thrive. We specialize in solving the big challenges, the small annoyances, and everything in between. So while you're out there dreaming big, we're here making sure your systems, processes, and people are ready for tomorrow. Iron House Pro, driven to create lasting organizations. Learn more at ironhousepro.com.